Alright, so I wasn't exactly planning to make Roblox videos on this channel, but recently I tried out Rogue Lineage, and it was, oof, yeah, it was interesting. Very, very, very interesting. And before I talk about exactly how I felt while playing this game, I want to let y'all know that I played Deep Oaken, and I like Deep Oaken, right? And this game's made by the same people. And also, I played the game for about 2 to 2.5 hours. Okay, so I would say I gave it a relatively fair chance, and I was open to to see what the game had to offer. And by the way I'm talking, you can probably tell that I did not enjoy the game that much. But we'll get to that. I first want to start off with the good things, the thing that I enjoyed. With the first of that being the world. I liked the world. It looked cool. It looked nice. Like the graphics were, it's Roblox, so what can I say? But like, it looks pretty good, and I was intrigued to explore. And that was probably like my favorite part about the game, to be honest. I felt like there wasn't huge incentives to like look around, but there were at least things. We are at the bottom of the barrel, but at least there were things. There were trinkets. I found some scrolls here and there. As you can see the background footage, I found some ingredients. I never learned how to use them, but I found some ingredients, so that's pretty cool. And to be honest, cut the music. Yeah, that's all I have to say good about this game, bro. The rest of this video is just gonna be me hating, and I know I'm gonna get hate about it, but bro, this game is just lacking. That's just the best way I can explain it. It's just lacking. But what do I mean by that? My first and probably the biggest problem was just, it's so barren. There's nothing to do. I looked everywhere, and like I was saying, there was trinkets and whatnot, and there was NPCs, but a lot of them would just tell me that I'm not cut out for this, with no other information. And I know that on Roblox, this is kind of like the norm, just to have super obscure and, I guess just bad NPC dialogue. But I have to critique it. It was bad. It wasn't fun. It wasn't enjoyable. It made it really difficult as a new player who, by the way, wasn't using the wiki. It made it really difficult for me to even get like a start on anything. And some people might say that having a wiki game isn't really a problem, because for those of you who have played Deep Oaken, Deep Oaken is essentially also a wiki game. And I agree, but for the sake of this, review, I think that it's fair to just critique the game for how it is, right? Because if there's any information that you should find on a wiki, it should just be on the game. It should just be somewhere in the game, but it's not. And so I have to, of course, I have to talk about that. Like, I can't just skip over that. And to be honest, it seems like this game just hates new players. There's no information for anything, and you might be able to see in the video on the left-hand panel, I had my friend Anthony in there giving me some information here and there, but I was trying to play the game completely blind, right? There was no information at all. Scrolls, whatever it may be, nothing for me. So it's like, I don't know if this game likes new players. I don't know if this game wants new players. And I understand that it might have some type of cult fan base who really enjoys the game, but as a new player, the experience is really not, it's just not there. And I'm glad they've improved with Deep Oaken, because at least Deep Oaken, especially nowadays, has a tutorial. This game had nothing for me, bro. No tutorial, no anything, just zero information. And that made it basically impossible to enjoy the game. The next thing I have to talk about is multiplayer. And the best thing I could say about multiplayer is it just feels like an afterthought. There's not anything in there. There's no party system. There's no, bounty board. I think there was a bounty board. I just couldn't find it. It was impossible to find. And it just feels empty. Like, on top of there being no NPCs, a lack of just a need for player interaction just makes the game feel super dead. And also, I just kept getting attacked, which I guess it's fine. It's an RPG, it's a multiplayer RPG. Like, who cares, right? But it's like, why? I have nothing on me. Like, what are they gonna get from killing me? I have literally nothing on me. Maybe it's like a Void Walker type of thing. But I had nothing on me, and it just felt weird to just be getting killed by people who I genuinely had zero chance to beat, with no tutorial, no info. I already know that the comments been hitting the, oh, skill issue, your buns, but I don't know, it felt weird to be hunted down, as an entirely new player. Maybe it's just that there's nothing to do late game, but yeah, that was just such a strange thing. It wasn't that bad, but it's still something I ran into, and it was still kind of annoying. And to be honest, that's all I really have to say. This game doesn't have a whole lot to offer. And again, this is from the perspective of someone who didn't use the wiki, obviously a new player, and someone who had played Deep Oaken. But it was just super empty. There's not a whole lot for me to talk about. I feel like I've already talked about all the issues, but there were some specific areas as well where it's just super empty, and it just felt weird that it was empty, you know? I feel like in a better game, maybe there would be something to, you know, something for me to use, something for me to do, something that would guide me in a direction, any direction. But it just felt like no matter how, you know, where I went in this vast world, there was just a whole lot of nothing. And yeah, Rogue Lineage just feels like incomplete. And if you're a Rogue player, just let me know like what you find interesting about this game, because again, the new player experience is really rough, and it's a bit boring. And I'm honestly I'm kind of disappointed, you know, because I had a lot of faith in the creators of Deep Oak, one of the best, if not the best game on Roblox. And so I was a bit disappointed. So let me know if you like Rogue Lineage, or if you don't like Rogue Lineage, why, and maybe I'll come back to this game with a bit of a more, you know, holistic review or whatever, because again, this is just like my first impressions of the game. Yeah, without further ado, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay swaggy, stay blessed, and hey, I'll catch y'all next time.